Hey friends, I got great news. Jack Prince has just announced free shipping site-wide. All day, every day, standard ground shipping is now on their house. But hey, your clients don't know the shipping was free. Hint, hint. They don't call me Market Up Bricky for nothing. Every bit you save is every bit you make. Jack Prince not only has industry low prices, but now free standard shipping for all 48 states. Save money on shipping, save money by listening to Adventures in Design. Visit jackprince.com/circle of trust to save 15% off your next order. And hey, the shipping is on Jack Prince House. Visit jackprince.com/circle of trust.
You're listening to the AID Network.
Good morning and welcome back to Comment Below. On the show with me this Monday morning, I am joined by Carl.
Hi.
Carl, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Go. You go.
You go.
You go.
No, you go. No, you go.
I was just going to say, what a beautiful Monday. What a nice morning it is to be with you guys.
Do you know how weird it is to try to do Monday vibes on a Friday?
I bet it's hard.
It is. I don't know if I'm supposed to time travel and fool people like, hey, it's Monday, hope you had a good weekend, and lie to them, or just be like, it's Friday and I've got the hint of the weekend in my back pocket.
Yeah. Well, it feels like Monday for me because most of my stuff happens on the weekend because sports. Yeah.
Right,
so
right.
This almost feels like a Monday for me. So I'll bring the Monday vibes.
Well,
genuinely.
I'll tell you this. Speaking of bringing the vibes, people were very excited when we announced that we're going to try to do this more often.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Thank you, guys. I see your comments. Mark sends them to me. They're so sweet, and I like feeling welcomed and appreciated.
Well, you are appreciated, and I appreciate the moment to have this conversation with you because you, my friend,
oh boy,
have sent me down a wormhole that is called YouTube. And if you don't like YouTube, this might not be the podcast for you.
But if you like me and Mark, then you could still listen and it might be entertaining.
And also, just keep this in mind before you hit stop. I just want to put this into your mind. Entertainment's changing.
Yes.
The world is changing. The entertainment industry is getting ready to explode. There's cracks in it right now, but it's going to explode. And whatever you're doing in this world, you can literally be an auto mechanic or you can be a roofer. If you can catch a small piece of that explosion, I mean a sliver of what the big boys in Hollywood have had for decades.
A shrapnel.
A shrapnel. Shrapnel used to kill you, but now shrapnel can make you healthy and wealthy, because if you can catch a small piece of the entertainment industry when it explodes, you will have something valuable. And literally on YouTube, there are people that are making money, creating audiences, and just showing you how to repair a guitar or how they do their plumbing, or buying boxes from Amazon and breaking it apart into different lots and reselling it. Like, there is something for everyone. So therefore, this conversation is about that future of entertainment that is out there.
Stick around. You're not going to hate it.
No.
Don't leave. Don't turn us off.
But it's often looked at as, oh, my kids watch YouTube and I don't understand it. I would urge you, take the time to understand it. Because once you get past what you think that it is and realize what it has turned into, it is a very powerful entertainment device.
It really is. It's so powerful that I mean, we're going to get into all of it, but like, celebrities are coming over into the YouTube space to even use that level of exposure that YouTube has.
You want to start there?
Yeah.
Okay. I absolutely hate Will Smith. I've often talked before.
Wait, I didn't know we were going there. You hate Will Smith?
I don't like Will Smith.
As an actor or as a person?
Well, I've never met him.
Okay.
But I've never liked his body of work.
What?
And I'll tell you why.
Okay, Men in Black?
I don't like people.
The pursuit of happiness?
I don't like people where everything always goes their way.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
He was a horrible 80s rapper.
I didn't know that.
Fresh Prince.
That was a show, though, right?
He was a rapper beforehand. Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Was based on him being a rapper?
He was a real rapper. Pay attention to the thick of the block. I pulled up to this girlie at the end of my block. That's when I picked up my car phone to portray it like I was talking.
No.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, you don't know that? Parents don't understand?
No.
You don't know this.
I didn't know that. I didn't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I've never seen an episode. But my thing with Will Smith is that it's just like one thing perfectly went into the other one. And he's so squeaky clean, and you know, the whole career has a nice shine on it.
You only like people with tarnished records?
I like people that are dangerous, that are fast and loose, and that at any moment it can all fall apart.
Okay.
That's the story that draws me in. And then he and his wife and their kids just made a family of grossness for me. Happiness and grossness and success and family unity. Like, it's not for me. The Smiths are not my people.
Okay.
I say this, and we've talked a lot on the podcast about my hatred of Will Smith. We've also talked about my love of Casey Neistat.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith popped up on Casey's vlog.
He did.
And he was very likable.
It was.
In the YouTube space.
It was. A lot of celebrities, I feel like, either have a deal with the YouTuber that they're kind of connecting with or doing something with. Like, The Rock will show up in Superwoman's vlogs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, clearly there's a deal. There's some sort of brand work there. The managers are speaking, and that's making that happen. Will Smith showing up so organically in Casey's vlog, it was like as a friend coming over to see his brand new office. It did not feel like Will Smith, the actor, made a deal with Casey because he has a new movie coming out. It was so organic that's what made it likable for me, and I'm sure for you too.
Well, Casey does a very good job of having Justin Bieber in a video and not mentioning Justin Bieber is inside the video.
Right.
Like, he's just like, I gotta go do a photo shoot for Vogue magazine, and then or Vanity Fair, whatever it is, and then he goes there and it's a photo shoot.
For people who aren't familiar with YouTube, it's called clickbaiting the title. So
Yeah.
Casey never clickbaits the title, like photo shoot with Justin Bieber, and then it's only that one sliver of a second.
He does clickbait his titles, but it's internal to him.
Yeah.
Because he knows that we care about Casey. So he'll make it seem like, oh, things are bad between him and Candace.
Yeah.
And then it's a very small part of a 10-minute video, and it's not what you thought. But You're right. He wouldn't put Justin Bieber inside.
Right.
He's above that. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
So Casey's good at putting big people in there, you know, Harry Styles or whatever. Like, he's good at working things in and not making a big deal out of it. But this is what I thought about Will Smith popping up there.
Okay.
And you said you saw John Stamos.
John Stamos was in David Dobrik's vlog. Howie Mandel was just in David Dobrik's vlog. Again, like organically. Just
Right.
It seems so weird.
So this is my thought process on why does Will Smith create a YouTube channel? Mm-hmm. He's got all the success that you would want from film and you know, TV. And I mean, the guy could get any meeting with anyone in Hollywood that he wanted. But think about this. I think that some of these celebrities see the freedom of a Casey Neistat, and they think about, if I do that, I could be celebrated for it. I could get big at it. I could make good money off of it. And I don't have to take notes from a director or from a studio.
Which they probably love.
Yeah. To them, it probably looks like the freest form of entertainment.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that as some of the celebrities are inching their way in, that we're going to see a couple of them go that direction, just because YouTube runs off of popularity.
Right.
So that if you've already got popularity, you've already beat the hardest part of the game.
Yeah.
And a guy like Will Smith could literally, I'm just going to maybe do this for 3 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
In between movies, feel fulfilled as an artist, tell the stories I want to tell, and not have to deal with any BS or bureaucracy, red tape from studios, directors, agents.
Right.
You know, he could literally, for the first time, be in total control of his own career.
I agree. I think that's something that's probably extremely appealing with YouTube. I think you've referred to YouTube before as the Wild Wild West.
It is.
Okay, so I think maybe, no pun intended with Will Smith and Wild Wild West, but I think that they probably look at it like exactly like how you said that. If I were a big major celebrity, that's how I would plan to stay relevant during my months off or during my time off between movies. Or maybe even that's how you continue to make money and you take even longer breaks between movies. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of opportunity there.
Well, think about someone like Will Smith who's had insane life experience. He's blessed by a riches of people that he knows and places that he's been. There's probably a lot of stories or perspectives that he would love to share that don't equate to $100 million, 6 months of intense shooting. Like, there's definitely a play in there where even if you look at someone like Casey Neistat, where when he went on that crazy 2-year run of making cinematic little movies every day, showing every idea, every aspect of his life, that was an intense grind.
Yeah.
And that was a different guy than what we have today.
Right.
Like, he is now affected by, and the whole thing's affected by his celebrity.
Yeah.
But Casey's got a pretty solid rig where he now, even though they claim they're going to put out videos daily, they put out a video
when they can.
Once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes with 10 days off in between.
Sure.
But I mean, he's at a moment where all he has to do is just do the maintenance of that channel.
Yeah.
And if you think about, those hundreds of videos that have created a spider web of people always finding them, watching them, creating revenue, like Casey Neistat today is still going to make money off of the first vlog that he put up.
For sure.
That's an interesting thing if you're a celebrity and you already know that you have the audience.
Yeah. I've never thought of it like that. The word maintenance, it seems like something you'd hear in like a business model or something like that. It could, I don't know. That's very, very interesting.
Well, I think someone like Casey Neistat that is at that moment where the groundwork, the foundation has been laid. Mm-hmm. So as long as he can just kind of keep putting more on the pile, it's really a spider web of creating revenue, creating new audience, replacing audience that leaves, keeping yourself relevant. Like, I just stumbled into his world earlier this year.
Yeah.
And I marathon through watching every single vlog.
Right.
And when I got to the last 100, I got that same sadness when I got to the end of The Wire, which is the world's greatest TV show.
Never saw it.
I knew when I was watching The Wire that I was in a special moment consuming something that was so good, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see it the first time.
Yeah.
And when I got to the end of Casey, I was like, this is a monumental thing that this guy built. And after he went on that vacation to Italy and took that 10-day break, it was never the same again.
Yeah.
Once he had a little bit of, I think I'm portraying this into him, but once I saw the distance from the grind, it just never got back to that magic moment of doing the impossible.
Where do you think he goes after this? Like, where could Casey go that would make you not watch him anymore?
That's interesting because now I'm so invested in him that even if he went in a way that I don't agree with, I would probably hate watch.
Yeah.
Because I'm so invested in him as a character and as a creator and as a big thinker. I mean, where his video's at right now, I'm not exactly excited about.
Right.
And I'll say why. 368 is content gold, and he's ignoring it. Like, they could easily just go to 368 every day and be like, today we're trying to put up this wall.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the wall's not going to go up because we can't run power over here. What's the workaround? That was the video today. Yeah. It's like this forcing the funk with the surfing on the Hudson. Yeah. Because that worked with snowboarding. Yeah. Like, there's these YouTubers get into a trap where they're like, I got to always be doing something super intense. Sure. I got to be doing these big life moments or nobody cares about what I'm doing. And it's just the opposite. If 368 was literally us watching them interview people, building out the space, working with contractors, taking meetings, it would be fascinating.
He's kind of skipping over some content that's being laid out right in front of him. But I feel like I can relate because I have slowed down immensely with vlogging. I've tried to stick to a schedule. I've tried to even be easy and say, I'll do it once a week. And there's been content in my own house that I just have not been showcasing, and I don't know why, but I almost use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
So we've had construction. We bought our house last year. We've been having construction on it intermittently throughout the past year.
You guys have done a massive amount of work to this home in 1 year.
We created this office that I'm sitting in right now, and I should have been documenting it. I should have been making it into content. I should have been like, look at us picking out this door. Look at us picking out this hardware. The content is right in front of us, me and Casey both. But for some reason, I bet he, like me, uses it as an excuse. Except with me, I use almost everything as an excuse.
Well, I remember watching the...
I'm sorry. For anyone, if you can hear us laughing, please go look at Mark's video on his Adventures in Design YouTube channel right now. Like, we're just trying to sit and have a conversation, and Wally is stealing the show.
As he does.
He's sitting on my lap like a 2-year-old toddler right now, trying to just get my attention.
As he does.
Yeah, it's just unreal.
I think, though, that when I saw the first 368 video, we're going to be daily. The vlog is back. We're going to do this.
He promised it.
He promised us that he was going to tell this story of this thing being built.
Yeah.
And what we get instead is, 368's happening in the background, but I'm going to go. I think that he's doing what people think that he should. Like, in his mind, it's like, this is what people want from me. Right. And he's trying to live up to that because obviously he's a people pleaser. He doesn't want to let people down. But I think that the minutia would be more rich than these sort of set up moments.
Yeah.
You know?
I also think he looks at what he's doing at 368 as, well, if I don't find this part interesting, then how can I feel inspired enough to vlog it and hope other people feel interested in it?
Yeah.
So I think he made a promise that he was like, oh, shoot, this isn't fun at all. This isn't fun starting a business. There's so many details that are extremely boring that I know I said I would show, but I can see him as the type of person thinking, if I'm not inspired by shooting this or telling this story, I would feel like junk putting that out on my channel, hoping other people would want to see that.
And I get that because he seems like an intense, fast-paced guy.
Yeah.
And he's probably bored by it. But what I would urge to someone like him is that a lot of people never get to live the excitement of opening up their own business.
Yeah.
And I realize that he's now doing it like the 4th or 5th time around.
Yeah.
So all the minutia is probably just weighing him down. But there's such a rich story there to tell people. And if you really want to empower people, show them how you manage people, how you manage a budget, how you manage New York City. Like, life is more than boosted boards. Boosted boards are fun. Getting that crazy ice cream concoction that they get from that place, that looks fun. But I think that the promise we were given with 368 hasn't been fulfilled. And mind you, all of this is said with complete respect,
right?
Complete admiration, because I understand his grind.
Yeah.
I'm on 805 episodes of my podcast.
Congratulations,
by
the way.
Thank you.
I would say that as much as possible. Hold on.
To do 800 of anything.
A toy just fell on me.
Oh, we're having
it's Thor.
We're having a
good.
Funko avalanche. 800 of anything feels like
it's on the ground now. I'm sorry.
And now Wally wants it. 800 of anything feels like a massive accomplishment, but I understand the grind of always trying to please an audience and always trying to create content. And I get it, man. The days where I shoot my vlog, it's a whole different way to live your life when you're trying to capture that day.
Yeah.
And living that way for 500 days in a row is mind-blowing to me.
I don't think we can you can say that you want to see the minutia. You can say that you want to see the way that this business is being created, but unless he's feeling inspired to show it, then we're not going to see it.
No, and I mean, I can respect that. I feel like I have felt let down.
Yeah.
And that's coming from the perspective of someone who actually cares as a fan, someone who's not a hater, who's not a naysayer. I feel let down. But let's talk about something Casey did do, which is the interview with Logan Paul.
He did do that.
I had mixed feelings on how that was done.
Okay.
And all of my critiques of that interview come from someone who interviews people as a living.
Sure.
I would love to get your thoughts on it first, though.
I know how you feel, and we've kind of talked about this before the podcast, and I thought the interview was spectacular.
Yeah.
Because in my job, I have to always view things on the sunny side. I'm not a hardcore reporter who's trying to get dirt on people. I'm not trying to expose anybody.
Right.
My literal job is to make people look great and to show the fun side of whatever is happening.
Sure.
There's no fun side in this interview, but maybe Casey could have gone more hardcore, really laid it into him, or maybe the dance of the interview could have gone a little bit differently. But as a person who was just listening to his questions, I felt inspired by listening to the way that he asked things.
His questions were brilliant.
Phenomenal. I thought he did a good job at feeling the pushback from Logan and realizing, okay, if I push too hard, maybe he'll stop talking to me. And then also realizing, like, he's not Oprah. He's not there to give him an aha moment. There is no aha moment for Logan Paul. He is the way he is. And I think we saw in that interview, there is no direction with how he thinks his content is being made. Like, he contradicted himself a little bit too much in that, and he knows it, but that's part of his character.
I think Logan Paul is one of the smartest people I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
He understands the art of manipulation.
Yeah.
To a degree of a Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I mean that as both a compliment and an insult.
Yeah.
He knows how to manipulate the audience. He knows how to manipulate the way that people perceive him. Some of the breakdowns on the Logan Paul KSI videos of how he manipulates people in there. As a person who creates content, it is brilliant work.
Yeah.
But backtracking to Casey and Logan. Casey set himself up for a weird failure and doing a disclaimer at the beginning of the video.
You think so?
100%.
Okay.
You don't plant those ideas into people's minds of maybe I shouldn't have done this, maybe I should have did this, but, maybe it wasn't, like.
It's like people who start vlogs and they go, sorry, it's been so long, I haven't vlogged, I'm so sorry. Just get past that. No one's thinking about that.
Don't bore us, get to the chorus.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
With Casey, setting it up with the disclaimer already showed sort of an uncomfortableness and a lack of self-confidence that we normally don't see in him.
Yeah.
I understand he's being vulnerable, but I also feel like a bit of that is like, you guys aren't going to believe what you're going to see next.
Yeah.
But it set it up as already being divisive. His interview style, his questions were superb.
Phenomenal.
The guy is so bright.
Yeah.
And he's successful for the reason because he is so much smarter than most people.
Yeah.
But Casey's also a cool guy.
Yeah.
And the body language of, I don't really know if I want to be sitting next to this guy, was so loud. And
his or Logan's? Like
Casey's.
Okay.
And he never wanted to fully go in on the video because I could tell the whole time he was worried about being perceived as being
his friend,
compassionate.
Yeah.
To Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And so therefore, the questions were asked in such an aggressive way that it put Logan on the defense. And if you catch a lot, what is it? You catch a lot more flies with honey?
Yeah. Bees. Flies? Is it bees or flies?
You catch a lot more flying.
Let us know.
You catch a lot more flying bees with honey.
And you catch some insects with honey than you do vinegar, right? That's
right.
it?
You got it.
Something.
You nailed it.
Okay.
Put that, embroider that into a little cross stitch.
Carve it in my headstone, please.
But the way that he was asking the questions was so like, I don't want to be associated with you. I'm not a fan of you, but I'm going to ask you all these hard-hitting questions. You know how to do this job.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way where you say, oh, I bet that was probably pretty rough for you. Or what was it like to feel that? He fell into Logan's trap.
Yeah.
And I think that if you show compassion for Logan Paul, there's a way to let people know, I don't agree with this guy. I'm not on his level, but I have compassion for his stupidity.
Yeah.
For his naiveness on things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a way to call somebody out where you can be like, but you don't really feel that way, do you? And you get more out of your subject that way. And so it was kind of contentious. And because it was contentious, I think Casey fell into Logan's trap of nobody understands me. Woe is me. And
yeah.
I mean,
see, I see what you're saying. I can see it being perceived that way. I didn't perceive it that way at all. I thought he went in pretty hard and even highlighted moments where Logan may have contradicted himself or may have said something that didn't make sense, or he kind of called him out on his timeline of things, like, you said you were playing the villain, but then you made the apology video, but then you played the villain again by tasing a dead rat. Like, what's the deal here? So I see what you're saying, but I got out of the interview what I needed, where I thought he was kind of putting him through the ringer.
I would like to interview Logan Paul because I would like to have the emotional interview with Logan Paul. Not the abrasive, not my team against your team. Like, I would literally sit down to the guy and go, look, man, I understand what you've been through. I understand what you're doing. I understand where you're going. I think that would give more of a look into who he really is than arguing with the guy or putting him on the defense. I
don't even know if that is necessary, because I feel like, don't you think you understand him? There is no emotion. He's a character, right?
But let's get into that.
Like, why is he a character? What?
Yes, like, the dad obviously is a major factor in all of this.
Yeah.
The brother being on Disney. I mean, the guy is driven by so many weird male competitive things in his life.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. He's really young. He's like 22.
Yeah.
He's got all that testosterone going through his body right now. Like, life's going to be different when he's 30. Way different when he's 30.
Way different.
And I just would love to I'd love for somebody to have a conversation with the guy where it's not Michael, what's the guy on Good Morning America? Michael with the gap in his teeth?
Oh my God.
The football player. You're from sports.
Yes. Oh my God.
Michael Strahan?
Yeah.
Everybody's always like trying to school him.
Yeah.
I would just like to be his bud for 2 hours and see what we learn from that technique. But once again, Casey's questions were brilliant. They were great. It just was, if you're going to do something, commit to it.
Yeah.
And with the disclaimer and his body language,
you wish you were a friend.
It just felt to me, it's like, I'm just doing this thing because I feel like it's going to get views.
Interesting.
I know that I'm not going to monetize this. I don't care if you do. But I just felt like the whole thing was like, just opportunity fell in my lap. I'm kind of in between content right now. Once again, the maintenance of a big 10 million sub.
Right.
Congratulations on 10 million, Casey.
Yeah,
sorry,
real.
I'm busting your balls.
We love you, though.
I care. It's from a place of caring.
That's why we talk about him.
And part of being a fan, you know this from sports.
Yeah.
Part of being a fan is like looking at the minutia. That's where the fandom comes from, is because you care.
Yeah.
So anyways, I thought that the interview was just commit to it.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk to somebody, get in the trenches with them, be there with them. His body language they almost needed two different cameras and they were sitting next to each other.
Right.
But it was interesting. I'll say that.
I would love to see an interview where someone does play the friend to the villain. You know what I mean? I get what you're talking about and what you're leading to. I can't think of one that I've seen where they do that, but like
nobody's ever just had his side before.
Yeah.
Because I would say to Logan, if he was sitting across from me, I would say, why did you apologize? Like, you made a dumb Suicide Force video, but you don't have to. You'll only carry that around with you as long as you keep carrying it and bringing it up. Mm-hmm. Like, the amount of and that's a problem with society where we're at right now. It's just you do something despicable and then you just over apologize to the point where like it just looks like all you're doing is making sure you don't lose what you have. It's not about suicide prevention. It's about Logan Paul career suicide prevention.
Yeah. That's
where it's really at. And so now he's tethered to this thing and it's like he could walk away from this thing tomorrow and everybody would forget.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say despicable things and get elected as president of the United States. Like, it's up to you to create and carry your own narrative. He could let go of this tomorrow. And I want to know why he's not willing to let go of it.
And I wonder what would happen if he had let go of it. If he had just apologized after the initial video, but then never had the whole campaign to make Logan Paul look
great again.
Essentially, I just wonder where would that put him now, and how would people think of him?
Well, let's talk about the Logan Paul KSI fight.
Okay.
This sort of YouTube dynamic is massive, where it's a spin on collaborating. You got KSI, who's the biggest vlogger in the UK. You got Logan Paul, who's one of the biggest vloggers in the US. I don't know if he's actually is the biggest. And these guys are going to fight. And so they're doing the press conferences. They're doing the whole fighting gimmick, right? Yeah. There's the press conferences. There's the cut and the promos.
Yeah.
It is a Hollywood entertainment gimmick that is old as time. It went from the world of boxing. It went into the world of wrestling. It's in the world of mixed martial arts, ultimate fighting, UFC. And now it's landed in YouTube.
Yep.
And it's making everyone around this narrative grow their channels at a rapid rate.
It is.
A rapid rate. Because if you cover the fight and if you can give insight or information, it's a hot button topic.
Sure.
And even people like myself have gotten sucked into it where I'm like, there's no way I'm not watching this pay-per-view.
100%. We're splitting that $8 pay-per-view, $4 and $4.
I've been cutting yards, mowing grass every weekend to come up with my $4.
You've been saving your pennies in your little piggy bank, and we're going to have a watch party here.
I can't believe how many people said the numbers might go down because people have to pay for it.
Not a chance.
It's $8.
Not a chance. If anything, if anything, maybe more people will watch, because once you put your money into something, I feel like there's more investment there. Every time we pay for $100 UFC pay-per-view, you bet we're watching the undercard all the way to the main event, because we put a lot of money into this little program we're about to watch right now.
I have found the content surrounding it to be a really interesting look on manipulating an audience. And if these guys have younger audiences, they're doing such a great job of roping them in on August 25th, right? I think that's the date it is, or somewhere in that.
Is it the date?
But, you know, just the constant promoting, the cutting the promos and ripping each other apart. Logan Paul put out a 20-minute video. I think it was 20 minutes, where he was breaking apart KSI.
Okay.
And man, oh man, he showed so much disparaging footage of KSI being really, really disgusting to women at a video game trade show from a few years back.
I missed this video.
Oh, this video is a must-see.
Is this recent?
Yeah, it's recent. It was after I believe it was after the second press conference.
Okay.
And by the way, I walk around my house all the time going, Walmart! I can't stop saying it. I love it. I love it. He basically went back, and KSI was doing the man on the street, walking around with a microphone at a video game conference, whatever.
Okay.
Saying really despicable stuff to women.
Is this like older, back in the day? Like,
it's older, yeah.
Okay.
But real, like, no punchline, no ha ha ha, just literally treating women like sexual objects at a trade show.
Okay.
He also exposed a video where he said some insane stuff about a fellow YouTuber's little sister.
Oh, God.
Just like really, really disgusting, foul stuff that, is locker room talk, but I've never talked that way before.
Yeah.
Like, just really like women are treated like pieces of meat in this discussion.
Yeah.
And he stitched it all together in a way that really made KSI look horrible.
Okay.
I mean horrible. But then some people broke apart his video that the reaction of the little sister was actually a video where she wasn't talking about KSI at all, but it's a video of her with her face blurred out, talking about how women need to step up. And the way that it was all strung together was documentary mind manipulation 101.
So the responses he was showing weren't actual responses to the things that had happened?
Yeah, things were taken out of context, put together around Logan Paul's narrative. And the video gets to this turning point where there's like this, triumphant, like church music playing.
Yeah.
And Logan's talking about how he's going to dig himself out and build himself out. And I'm like, I'm a 43-year-old man.
Yeah.
That's been in the entertainment industry since I was 15. I'm a huge consumer of content. Like, I understand the mind manipulation. a 13-year-old boy that just wants to be rich for a living,
Yeah.
that just wants to be a celebrity for a living, would watch this and just be like, KSI is the enemy. I got to do all these things.
Wow. Okay. First of all, I have to go and watch this video because I unsubscribed to Logan.
I won't subscribe to him.
Oh, you just you go look him up.
Logan Paul.
He's in your search history.
He's a search history follow.
Okay.
Where I will not give him my sub number.
Yeah.
Same thing with another account I want to talk about later on in the show.
Okay.
Drama Alert.
Sure.
With Keemstar.
Got it. I'm not subscribed either.
Nope.
But have seen some stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, in this fight, the back and forth has been pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets to a moment of how far are you willing to go to build the numbers and to build the audience?
How far are you willing to put your actual, like, real life persona and the way people perceive you and you as a person on the line? Because to us, we're old enough to know a lot of this is for entertainment.
It's drama.
We're not walking into a Starbucks and seeing Logan Paul that way, or at least maybe, I don't know. We will never know, but it's all kind of curated and created, and we can understand that it's entertainment, but I wonder how many, like you said, 13-year-old boys are like, wow, this is the future. This is the way.
Well, I mean, if you watch Logan and you're a younger person, you know, when you watch the trailer for his channel, 2017 was the best year of my life. Like, I bought a $6.8 million home last year.
Looks attainable.
I bought this crazy car that every little boy would want. I'm now dating a very attractive actress from ABC's Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's all fallen into place for the guy. Mm-hmm. And it all comes off of ripping off the whole Ric Flair mantra of, I'm the best. Watch out for my success. Get out of my way. I'm going to run you over. But then he always does this pivot, which is where the real villain of Logan Paul exists. Look at all this stuff I bought. It's crazy. I'm the best. Softest merch in the game. Hottest merch in the game. Be a real maverick. Do all these things. Be just like me. I'm spending money. My friend's a little person that I manipulate and take advantage of. Look at me. But don't forget, you have to work hard for everything. I'm just a kid from Ohio. I did all this on hard work. You know that moment?
Yeah.
Where it all pivots?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people found out that if you have a little bit of positivity in there, that young people eat it up.
Right.
And so you can be despicable for 9 minutes. But as long as on the helipad you go, this last year was so great to me, but I'm just a kid from Ohio. I'm only getting started.
That's the hook.
The world can't hold me back.
Yeah.
That tells every young person, your dreams are valid. You can have all of this. Just believe in yourself.
Do you think that is a positive message in disguise, or do you think that persona and tied with that message is 100% toxic for every middle school child watching his videos?
I think that it is a calculated thing. You know, like, to be big on YouTube, you have to make sure you're always doing something big.
Yeah.
So if you go out and you do the unknown, it's clickbait. Oh, what was it like to drive a $500 Geo Metro 500 miles off road? I'm guilty of this.
Subscribe.
That video is done very well for me on my little micro baby channel.
Yeah.
So I think that these guys know a lot of the different ingredients for success. You know, there's a way you can break down what will give you the potential to go viral.
Yeah.
Nobody can make it go viral, but there's things that are in your favor. And I think one of the things these guys know is the silver lining of positivity. I think that when the silver lining of positivity is wrapped around so much negative information, I wonder, the 15-year-old that's watching that, you know, if you've ever talked to young people, you can give them a lot of advice and they'll take the bits that they want to hear and come up with their own narrative.
For sure.
So I think a lot of kids would probably hear that and go, the world was against Logan Paul, but if you just be really loud and obnoxious and just burn through people, then you can have everything that you want.
Yeah.
And, you know, the dangerous thing is a lot of young people now, when you ask them what they want to be when they get older, it's not, I want to be an NHL player. I want to be a movie star. I want to be a rock star. They just want to be famous.
Yeah.
And that is very, very damaging when you just want to be famous, but you have no intention of creating or crafting a skill to get you there.
Yeah.
I think that's the most dangerous part of YouTube. And I think Logan Paul embraces that and has found a way to make that a building block for his channel and his audience.
Yeah. What's weird is YouTube vloggers and this whole wanting to be a vlogger or wanting to be famous, that stuff didn't exist when I was in middle school, but damn if it did, I would have fallen right into that trap. I had that with entertainment television, the E with the exclamation point.
Yeah.
And they would show, videos of stars getting out of their expensive cars and going to the club and like, look at Lindsay Lohan's life somewhat starting to go downhill and stuff like that. Like that was the trap when I was in middle school, was seeing that. And I felt like, man, I want to be famous just from watching E! Entertainment Tonight and Ryan Seacrest and all that. So to have this amount of accessibility too, to like the catalog of Logan Paul, the archive of every other YouTuber who's kind of preaching this, it scares me. It scares me to know like what these kids are going to be like when they get older. I don't know.
My love.
There's so much unknown.
So I'm of the age of, I literally remember watching the first ever season of The Real World.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember like it was a summer day or whatever. And I'm like, what's this? And I watched it and I go, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
And then MTV started to do that thing where, well, before we show you episode 2, we'll show you episode 1.
Yeah.
So I would show up early and watch episode 1 a second time. And then I would watch episode 2. And it was giving me a look at like what young people are doing in New York City.
Yeah.
And the original narrative of The Real World was that everybody in the house was somebody special, a writer, a musician, a guy chasing down, personal training and being on TV, a young woman from the South that wanted to be a ballerina. Everybody kind of had like a thing. And eventually it dissolved into 7 cantankerous people that would probably not mix very well.
Yeah.
And it became about the infighting. But I loved reality TV. It sucked me in, and that was the beginning of it, The Real World. And so I can still watch Real Housewives. Orange County ones are the best. Shout out to Vicky.
Oh, man.
I can still watch that stuff.
Yeah.
But the greatest thing about YouTube as a reality show is, for the first time in our lives, we can watch the story from so many different angles.
Yeah.
So when FouseyTube loses his mind with July 15th or June 15th, whatever that special date was.
I forget the date.
By the way, his name now is Rose.
Oh, wait, did he changed his name?
To Rose. And he's carrying around like a thrift store $1 rose.
Oh, no.
It's a really bad gimmick.
I gotta catch up. Oh, boy. Okay.
So there's a creator by the name of FouseyTube who has...
Great segue, by the way.
Thank you.
Good segue.
Thank you.
Real world to FouseyTube.
FouseyTube has 10 million subscribers. He's in that ballpark, I believe. The guy is at this panic moment where, and I hate saying this, I hate saying Felix's channel name because it makes me feel stupid saying PewDiePie. But Felix, who does PewDiePie, is a brilliant guy.
Okay.
And I really have come to enjoy Felix. And I will refer to him as Felix.
Okay.
Because I can't say the other thing.
It's okay.
But Felix did a really great video of breaking down when your channel's growing, it's intoxicating. The numbers are building, more and more people are watching. You're hitting these new moments where like now more people are watching your videos than watch 30-minute sitcoms on network TV.
Right.
So you're growing and you're growing, the money's coming in, but after a while, everything in entertainment, its stars starts to burn out and people find other things.
Yeah.
So as the numbers are falling, we're seeing the first generation of YouTubers kind of going a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
To try to keep that growth going.
Yeah.
And none of them have fallen harder than Fousey.
Yep.
And so FouseyTube did this wild thing at the Greek Theater that was going to be this event, and maybe Drake was going to show up. Later on, we all find out that Drake had never even heard of Fousey, and Fousey did videos where he's like literally like crying to Drake, like, please do my event.
Yeah.
And he's smart enough. He has fans that make videos that get his attention.
Yeah.
That he never sees, that he never acknowledges. Like, it's like winning the lottery to make up a video about your favorite YouTuber and for them to actually see it and then to reach out to you.
Yeah.
He knows better than to do that with Drake.
Yeah.
He's smarter than that.
Yeah.
So he does this event that's going to be at the Greek Theater. And I'm telling you guys right now, Drama Alert did a 3-part docuseries on this. If you watch that in companion with Felix's breakdown on the whole thing,
Yeah.
it is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
So fascinating that I got Hammer and Gus to watch it with me.
Oh, my God.
We're in this living room watching this at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And these guys are like, this is fascinating.
That's what you guys do in the living room?
Sometimes, if I get a hold of the remote. But I sent it over to my sister because Beth wouldn't take the bait.
Okay.
And me and my sister were talking about how it's reality TV, but from all these different perspectives and angles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no longer a producer running Teen Mom the way that Morgan Freeman, not that Morgan Freeman. The producers of Teen Mom let us see Teen Mom through the way they want us to see it.
Yes.
But now we can see Fousey's breakdown through his eyes. We can see Drama Alert just being there soaking up all of this disruption of a young man's mind to just convert it over to big numbers and subscribers. Before the Fousey 2 meltdown, Drama Alert, I believe, was somewhere in the ballpark of 1 or 2 million subscribers.
Yeah.
4 million subscribers now.
Oh, wow.
In one day, I watched that channel go up 80,000 subscribers.
No way.
And it was all because Keemstar, who I have footage of him sleeping on an airplane going to Buffalo, New York. Keemstar was just in the middle of it.
Yeah.
He was in the middle of it. He was hitting the cultural dynamic at the right time. He was putting up these videos, breaking down the fall of this YouTube star. And I just watched that channel just explode. Because if you went there, it was the TMZ of this.
Right.
So you could watch that perspective of it. You could watch Fousey actually melting down and putting more gas on the fire.
Yep.
And then you could go watch intelligent people like Felix
break
it all apart in a very funny and entertaining way.
Yeah.
And so I'm just ripping links over to my sister. And my sister's like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I said, this makes me believe in YouTube because there's never been a way to see the same story from so many different perspectives.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the Logan Paul KSI fight is doing. You know, there's these moments now of these interconnecting worlds, whether it's Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. There's this new dynamic of telling the same story through different voices. And if you get sucked into the storyline, it's fascinating.
And you know what's cool, too, about these stories being told through these different voices, because they're not on television, because they're not having something funding them and their reasons for doing this. It's actually literally through the person's voice that's telling the story. There's no producer that we know about that is filtering this information. There's no direction that is being given to them to sway one way or sway the other. That is my most favorite thing about YouTube is you can pick, like you're talking about, different ways to view the story. It's like an a la carte version of reality television in the actual people's voices that you're choosing to watch. Unfiltered, unproduced. Just
100% how that one person sees it and how they want to share that with the world. So the FouseyTube thing was just fascinating.
Yeah.
All the different ways you can watch it. And Keemstar, who does Drama Alert.
Yep.
He was really in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Really in the middle of it. And I know Adam22 from the No Jumper podcast
of course.
was in there too. And because he's in LA, he just had the perfect setup for people coming in.
Oh, it was great.
And he was smart. He just sit there and let it all happen around him.
Yeah.
And he didn't get involved too much. He just kind of like, I got the space. I'll let you guys show up and do your thing.
Yeah.
And then how that all got broken apart in different ways was fascinating. Now, Keemstar could see the growth of Drama Alert.
Yeah.
And that guy's delivery is something else.
Yeah.
Not a fan. I like the information, but the way that he talks is, it's so.
But it's entertaining, right?
No.
No.
It's a weird presentation. But I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's got 4 million subscribers. Congratulations on 4 million. But he was really smart at being in the middle. And then he did something that was interesting. I want to get your vibe on this.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to slow down on this massive growth. And he knows he's in the right place at the right time. He's just timed it out so perfectly being there that he has this kid host the show for him sometimes. So he has a guest host that does Drama Alert. Mm-hmm. Well, the kid's an interesting guy because I can't tell where his hair starts and stops in his face.
Okay.
Like it's just this interesting person.
Yep.
And he tries to do an imitation of Keemstar.
Okay.
Who Keemstar's kind of only doing his own thing. He's imitating that. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about a co-host? Because when you follow a YouTube channel or a podcast, you buy into that person.
Yes. So I've got a couple opinions on this. I like it in certain situations. So Shane Dawson had, I wouldn't say a co-host, but he hosted, I think in a similar way that Keemstar is doing that you're talking about. He hosted another YouTuber on his channel, knowing I'll let this person talk and do their thing, and it's their channel for the day, and my subscribers will watch them. This is included in my content. Here you go. I was not a fan of that. I saw the good in what Shane was trying to do. I saw him taking a person with less subscribers, putting them on his channel, giving them the platform and the space to do it. When I subscribe to Shane, I subscribe to Shane. I want to see him and Ryland and Garrett and Morgan. I don't know the person that he was hosting, and there was a backstory to it. This person, I believe, kind of dissed Shane in some way, and Shane brought him in to be like, hey, look, we're good people. Come be on our channel, whatever. I don't know the whole story, but I'm not a fan of that only because I subscribe to Shane for Shane.
Right.
And in turn to that, I am a fan of when Philip DeFranco does it, because when I watch Philip DeFranco's show, it's him, yes. It's his delivery that I watch, yes. But he's also kind of my source for news. Mike jokes whenever I watch Philip DeFranco, oh, you're watching the news? Yeah, I'm watching the news. This is where
it's in the way that you want to digest it.
This is where I'm getting my information. So I love the way Philip delivers things, of course, but I also understand his structure of his business, the way that he gathers news and distributes it. It's okay for me to watch someone else on his channel deliver that news, and he always prefaces it to, here's something new we've got for you. We've got so-and-so. She's going to give you the details on why they're banning plastic straws. Here we go. And jumps into it. I'm totally fine with that.
So it's like a correspondent.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that if it's news and if it's from a network that I enjoy the tone of, just like how my parents watch CNN or Fox or whatever it is that they're watching.
Yeah.
They watch the network because they agree and understand with the way that their correspondents are delivering things.
Or they don't watch the network because it doesn't identify with
them. Exactly. So when it's news, when it's Keemstar, when it's Philip DeFranco, when I know the vibe that I'm getting, I almost enjoy watching other people and other people do things that way. But when it's a vlogger hosting another vlogger for a day or kind of giving someone else a chance, I don't subscribe to that mentality as much.
Yeah. It's a hard sell, I think.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times where, Casey's had people come on and some of them resonate with you, some of them don't.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting dynamic.
I can't picture myself ever doing that. And maybe down the road, say I got huge and was like, oh, I want to give, so-and-so a chance. But I wouldn't expect my subscribers to be like stoked about it. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I guess I do a little bit of that. I mean, you're the only person I've ever taken one of your videos and put them in one of my playlists.
Thank you.
But it was you and I experiencing something together.
Yeah.
And to a large part, like, you and I are big collaborators in this space.
Yeah.
We talk about a lot.
You're in my vlog squad.
We give you...
You are my vlog squad.
Team 2.
Team 2. Oh, man.
Team 2.
Yay.
Taking LA or Southern California by storm.
The over 30-something vlog squad.
Team 2. Just 2 crutches for our logo.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting thing to share the space. I understand the idea of sharing the wealth. And, you know, one of the things they'll tell you to grow your channel is collaborate with other YouTubers.
Yeah.
Once again, a little bit of a false message because it makes sense for Shane Dawson to share with
Jeffree Star.
With Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
Because they're both big.
Yeah.
But how does, you know, the guy at home with 500 subs, was he going to collaborate with another 500 subs guy and they're each going to get up to 600? I mean, they say that's one of the things to do growth. You see it really work at the top level. I don't know if it works in the lower levels.
Yeah, that's interesting because I definitely have seen it work at the top level. So when David Dobrik, for instance, one of my favorite vloggers, he had Emma Chamberlain on his channel and she was a little bit smaller, and then I feel like she kind of skyrocketed a little bit because it highlighted someone else who was also somewhat big. I believe she had over 1 million subs. Yeah. She was also somewhat big. But I've never dabbled in or even really watched people who are smaller collab with another smaller person. The smallest I think I've seen is Chris Howe, Hau. I saw him by way of a Peter McKinnon thing, I believe. I got into Chris Howe's world, and then Chris Howe collabed with this couple named Becky and Chris, who are from somewhere in Canada and live in Vancouver. They have under 20,000 subs, I believe. Wow. So I saw that trickle down effect, and it did bring me to Becky and Chris's channel, and I did subscribe, and the collab worked, or the reason for the collab worked. That's my only experience with that, though. The
Dan Mace relationship with Casey Neistat has been very beneficial to Dan Mace because his channel was small. Right. So maybe it works when you're... But you have to know Casey Neistat to get that bump. Right. Which is the impossible, right? Right. So I almost wish there was a way you could look at YouTube and be like, okay, I want to click a button and I want to see all the other makers in my range. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm currently at 1,700. Yay! Thank you. I would love to see the 1,500 to 2,000 creators. Yeah. Like it'd be cool to be able to see the other people that are at your level to sort of judge it, because you always feel like in real life, everybody else is driving a Tesla and a Range Rover and you're stuck in a Honda Element. Yeah. And you don't know those people. You don't know how to bridge the gap. Yeah. And they always say, well, collaborating is a great way to grow your channel, but how do you get to know there's no way to get to know the stars to get the big bump. So how do you meet people that are similar at your level to get the let's bring ourselves up together type vibe? And how do you make genuine connections with people too, rather than let's collaborate so we can get more views? Right. Because those videos, I feel like you can suss out almost immediately. You want the genuine connection and the genuine usage of each other's time. So the genuine connection of that would be the Jeffree Star and the Shane Dawson collab. Yes. Where you got... Can we talk about that? Let's do it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyone still listening. It's just us. Oh man. You guys. Okay. So clearly you're this far into our YouTube episode. This is the YouTube sensation right now. I'm so passionate about this because I feel like this is the future of internet content. I feel like this is what YouTube is this is what YouTube's for. It's so incredible. Recently, Shane Dawson, one of my favorite YouTubers, he's done everything on his channel from comedy bits to conspiracy theory episodes and just a plethora of different content. Recently, he's been doing mini series teaming up with different YouTubers. So before we get to the biggest one that's out right now, he did a series with Bunny Myers, also known as Graveyard Girl, who her channel was kind of failing. She wasn't doing so well anymore. Shane Dawson, knowing his, massive audience, knowing his pull, knowing what he can do for people, he wanted to dive into the life of Bunny Myers and see why is her YouTube channel failing? What can we do to help? Made, I think, a 3-part series about it. Saw inside of her life, inside of her Texas mansion that no one even knows existed, and really just built her back up and gave her some credibility and whatnot. Then he had a series on TanaCon. Do you remember TanaCon? TanaCon was my first taste of, holy shit, YouTube is a reality show inside of a reality show.
Yes.
When I found out about TanaCon, I'm like, that was when the hook literally was like.
That's when you found Keemstar, right?
It's also like it led me down the path of Felix. Like,
yes.
TanaCon was a big entry point for me.
So Shane, again, saw the success, I think, with Bunny and was like, hey, if there's something I want to dive into again and figure out how I can show this to the world, I'm going to do it. And he did it with TanaCon. Again, a little mini series. It was great.
They're shot like it's somewhere between a documentary and a really good Bravo reality show.
And a really good vlog. Because they're all still
three of those.
Vlog style.
Yeah.
It's him and a cameraman, and then
who laughs too much.
I love him.
He laughs too much.
No, I love him. Their cameraman, his name's Andrew. I think he's hilarious. His laugh gives me life. I love it. And for me, it's a part of the experience. Then, so from the TanaCon series, he did a series with Jeffree Star, who is a massive, massive YouTuber. He's one of the biggest beauty YouTubers on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own cosmetics line. We learned he has a couple of businesses, actually, but he's always been surrounded by controversy, and he has lost a lot of friendships. Like, there was a lot of...
For context for the listener at home, he's kind of like a drag queen.
Kind of. He refers to himself, like, in the series, Shane even asks, like, do I call you he or she? And he's like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whichever you want. He's like, I'm almost like an alien.
He said, I respond to all pronouns. And if you watch him, he talks to other people that way too.
Yeah.
Like a guy will come around the room and he'll be like, girl, get over here. But he'll also call him a guy too. Like it's all mixed up.
It's fascinating.
He's very, very fascinating because I was trying to figure out, like, is this someone who's like, doesn't identify with their cisgender? Like, I was trying to figure out sort of like, what is the label or the sexuality on him? And he's just Jeffree Star.
He really is. He's just Jeffree Star.
It's pretty refreshing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's insanely free. And if it's a character, it's a really well-developed character. Like, he is just who he is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fascinating.
So Shane, I remember my first exposure to Jeffree Star was back on MySpace. I was just like, who's this cool-looking guy, girl? Pink hair, just totally overdone makeup, tattooed, into the same music as we are.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. So that's kind of my first taste. And then I just saw him explode and evolve and all that jazz. But this series, it like takes you inside of his house. It shows you his fancy cars. It shows you his actual business that he runs, and a
level of really insane wealth
that he accumulated over the past 3 years. Like, this is new to him. So it's him navigating how to spend his money. It's him navigating this new persona that he's taken on. And it's him navigating how to be a business person. It's so interesting and so incredible. And it also is what it is because of Shane. Shane hosting that is what makes all of that even more interesting. Shane makes it what it is. Like, he, without him, I'm not sure if I would be as invested. I would think, oh, cool, 5-part series on Jeffree Star, fascinating. But Shane's genuine concern, compassionate sense of nature, his willingness to go there where no one really goes and to ask the questions no one wants to ask.
I think also, and this gets back to my comment that I was making about Casey earlier and Logan Paul, because Shane is such a gentle gay soul.
Yeah.
You know, he asks the difficult questions, but in a real, like, I'm curious. How does this make you feel? What is this like? It's never abrasive. And he can ask them the most brutal question, but he's like, the way that he just asked how much a car costs isn't like, would you pay for this?
Yeah.
It's like, this is a pretty crazy car. What was it like to get this? What did you pay for it?
Yeah.
And so because you've pumped them up, they feel good. You want to understand, not judge.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy to buy this. Like, I never knew I'd buy a $175,000 car.
Yeah.
Cha-ching, you get your answer.
And then his reactions too. Like, if you watch an episode of 2020, you see the interviewer ask the questions, but you never see them react. You never see them like, holy crap, that's $125,000. Shane's reactions blow my mind. Like his thing, he does this thing where he goes, he like purses his lips and makes like a crazy laugh. That's just
he flirts with you a lot through the camera. Like,
Yeah.
like his body language and stuff is
Yeah.
like, you're his buddy. And he's like, can you believe they just said that?
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty cool dynamic that he has. Once again, the type of dynamic built for YouTube.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that on a late night show on a network
Yeah.
or on Comedy Central. Like, it's built for the platform, that's one of the things I've enjoyed is seeing, like, YouTube is no longer imitating TV. It's becoming its own thing.
Yeah.
And that's where the growth is when people are doing something that's only meant for YouTube. That's when it really pulls us in.
That's interesting. And just saying that, this is a little aha moment. I feel like YouTube is so built for the viewer, it's not even funny. Like how Shane's looking at the camera and laughing and like telling us jokes, knowing, I know you're on the other side of that screen. I know you're watching. I know this is for you.
And you and I are both blessed by being, this sounds dumb to say, but it's a truth. Like, we're popular people that live in a populated part of the country.
Sure.
So we're not lonely in Iowa. We're not like a lonely creative or a lonely gay guy in North Dakota.
Yeah.
Think about how this platform must be for those people that need a window into the outside world.
It's the best thing that's ever happened.
Like, think about how many young, misunderstood men probably think of Shane Dawson as their best friend that they've never met before.
Yeah.
That's a great and powerful tool. And then bringing somebody like Jeffree Star into the mix, who's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, his boyfriend is straight.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the whole like dynamic of all of them was just so wild to kind of figure out. It made me go over. I'm like, I want to now see him with Shane removed.
Yeah.
So I watched them do a Taco Bell unboxing.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's something I watch all the time.
Sure.
I think Beth might have some serious questions if that was what was always on my monitor. But I did get her to watch All of Queer as Folk with me, which was uncomfortable at moments, but we made it through it as a couple. But it was interesting, really interesting to just look into somebody else's life. And when you interview people for a living, that's one of your curiosities is like, what does the world look like for this person?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the thing that I'm most fascinated is what we've seen with FouseyTube implode. What are the Jeffree Stars? Are they going to be wealthy in 5 years?
Yeah.
Or is a Jeffree Star interview in 5 years like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten my Tesla painted pink?
I think the Jeffree Stars of the world are the smart ones because in his documentary series, he spoke about things that he doesn't reference on camera. For instance, like his merch company. And they were showing like where his merch goes. He's doing merch for Little Dicky. Like he's smart and puts his money into places that will always be generating him money. So while maybe his persona dies down or maybe he's not as flashy or he's not making as much money off of his personality, there are ways that he's invested that will carry him on into the future. But someone like FouseyTube, I don't know. This is me speaking completely unknowing of what he's doing outside of YouTube.
He's trying to position himself as a motivational speaker.
Okay, so things like that make me nervous for their future because what if they can't survive off of their fame or popularity?
What if you document you having a mental breakdown and you're supposed to be my motivational speaker?
Yeah, then it can go the other way for you. So it's like being a professional athlete. There's some hockey players who retire and have their $3 million in the bank and then forget to invest in a business or forget to really find something that carries them on to the future. And then they fizzle out in 10 years and they're not relevant anymore. And they're not even doing alumni appearances for the team. And then their money's gone. And then now what? So that's the danger of YouTube too, is there's got to be something after YouTube, just like with anybody, with any job.
Well, and there will be, even though there's generations that are being raised on YouTube, so it's just like TV to them.
Yeah.
It's natural to them, where it's something that we've had to kind of dive into and learn.
For my nephews, it's for definitely their television.
What comes after YouTube, though? You know, they're like everything evolves into something else. TV had a good run, but it's getting replaced and it's set up differently than what it used to be. So it'll be interesting to see what YouTube's rival is. And really what I can't drive home enough about YouTube is, and what their massive success, it's the only social media platform that pays you.
Yeah.
Everybody else takes your content.
Yep.
And they turn it into their numbers, investors, and advertising. Like if you're just pumping your life into Instagram, you're making somebody else wealthy.
Yep.
YouTube at least is like, oh, we're making money, but we're willing to share it with you.
I never thought about that.
That's why so many people have gone so hardcore into this platform, because it's the only social media platform that pays you back.
I'm going to turn on the air conditioner while you're talking about that because it turned off.
Okay.
FYI.
I like that you can do it from your phone.
Keep rolling.
Because I can't even turn my fan on from my phone.
Oh, no. Yeah, I never thought about that like that.
Yeah, the collaboration between Shane and
Jeffree
Star, I can never get, the first name does not fit the character at all. Like, it's such a weird name. The dynamic between those two, though, is really showing the way that it's all stitched together.
Yeah.
And all the different perspectives that can come in, and the art of collaboration. And it's really storytelling in a way that we haven't seen before, which, let's just go right back to the beginning of our conversation. Will Smith.
Okay.
And how it fits together. I think that celebrities are really seeing the play here. You know, he has kids that are in the right age that probably said, Dad, this is something we watch. Something like watching Casey's highly addictive. Now the Jeffree Star series is highly addictive. I think that the future of it is just going to get more and more of what it is. Like creating content that could only exist in the YouTube atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's what we all like about it, is it's a whole different spin on viewing and viewing habits. And I get excited when I fire up YouTube and look at my subscriptions,
yeah,
and see who's updated and what's
too.
there. Like it gives you a little bit of dopamine.
It really does. It's for sure is the future. And I know you were talking about, okay, well, where does this go? Television's had its run. I feel like YouTube's not going to, like you said, die down. It's only going to become more and more of what it is, for sure.
And the only way that another platform will compete with it, if there becomes another platform that pays creators. And the only thing that could crush YouTube is if another platform figured out a better revenue sharing.
Yeah.
You know, they basically have to be like, we pay more.
But even then, would we watch it? Even if it paid more?
If a couple of our friends went there.
I don't know.
You would follow, if 5 of your big guys went over to another, you're going to ignore Casey videos just because it's on a different website?
You're right.
Real quick before we get out of it.
Okay.
You like that guy, David
Dobrik. Yeah.
What did you think about him stealing the thunder from Shane Dawson's big lead up to how much money Jeffree Star makes?
Did he steal the thunder? Like, or do you think they might have known that they were going to talk to him?
Well, Shane was doing the thing that you've been taught to do, is
go ahead.
Take a story.
Yep.
Take the bit of information that people want the most.
Yeah.
Keep alluding that you're going to get to it, but give it to them at the end so that they make the journey with you.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the series going on, David just puts up a video. It's just like, hey man, how much you make? And he's like, oh, like 150 million. And just kind of like in 30 seconds, while everything was hot, stole the thunder of the big reveal.
Dang. Okay. So I don't remember the order in which I watched the videos or what, or who I found out that information from first. So for someone like me, the thunder wasn't stolen and the veil wasn't lifted, or wasn't lifted in a way where I was like, whoa, you just took that from him.
Yeah.
So I can't even speak to like, what do you think of that? Because I think I was just so engulfed with the Jeffree Star story. Anywhere I can get more information, I was like totally down with.
I just found it fascinating that there's such competitiveness.
Yeah.
That one YouTuber will be like, whoa, this is popping. I have access to this person. I'm going to get in there and get me some of this while the gold mine's going. Like how Keemstar was able to just like jump his channel, just being right in the middle of the FouseyTube meltdown.
I look at it like it's all a big machine working together. So I feel like if Shane saw David's video of him going to Jeffree's house, it's only more fuel for people to tune into Shane's series to see, oh my God, I want to see more. They went David Dobrik went there for a minute. Shane is, deep diving into his entire life. So if anything, they all help each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or they know that maybe they'll come up in each other's recommended videos after someone's done watching one or the other. I don't know.
It's fascinating. And it's fascinating because we're watching it all get built in real time.
Yeah.
And so many of these characters were just people with computers and cameras 5 years ago.
Right.
And now they're living a life of wealth and of real genuine fame and celebrity, that it's going to be interesting to see the evolution of it, where it all grows, celebrities getting into the space. Like, it's, even when it goes bad, like TanaCon, is sometimes when it gets the best.
Really is.
It's really a platform that can't seem to lose, because when one person falls apart, somebody else is there with a camera to document it.
Yeah.
And then you follow that person, and it just goes and goes. And it's really weird to know when it's time to walk away.
Yeah.
Because it just, one video leads into the other. Like, it's a very good trap to get you in there.
I don't think I'm ever going to get out of this trap anytime soon.
Question for you.
Okay.
And we'll wrap on this.
Okay.
Sort of a technique question. I've noticed that some channels have this idea of do a big long shot and break it up into little bite-sized pieces so that they can keep releasing video all throughout the week and to work smart. It's a hard thing to get all done up and go in front of the camera and record it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that affect your viewing at all when you can tell that something is a part of a big piece? Or does it make you excited to see the next piece of the puzzle because you're already invested?
It depends on what the content is. So, like with you went to Hawaii and you broke it up into pieces. That's fun. I want to see the next shot. I want to see the next thing. I think it gets weird and jumbly for me when people insert other pieces of content in between those storylines.
That was advice that you gave me.
Yeah, I get confused. So if someone's like, I'm in Bali, and then they're like, here's me back at home talking about something that's happening at work, then I get confused. So
yeah, before I do, like, I have 3 videos from Canada that I'm sitting on, but I have some more time sensitive things. So I'll let those play out. Then I'll go back to Canada just so that it's all in at least some sort of succession.
I don't like watching videos and being able to analyze people's production work behind the scenes.
Takes you away from it.
It does. So because I know what it's like, maybe this isn't the same for all people,
right?
But because I know what that production is like, seeing, you shot all of that and this is all one thing that you're getting done all at once, and then you're inserting other things in between, meaning you didn't finish the one thing that you were supposed to do all at once. It ruins the veil has been lifted for me.
Also, for people that create content and the schedule and the time, you can start to get a contact buzz of their stress.
Yeah.
And then how are they going to get all this done? They bit off more than they can chew.
100%.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber that goes out to Disneyland once a week and just like shoots hardcore.
Is this you?
No.
Oh.
And then that gets broken up into lots of little videos throughout the week. So the guy's like constantly releasing stuff, but shooting once and then constantly releasing. And it kind of shows a lot about the way that YouTube works, where people only want the information that they want.
Yeah.
So instead of being like, I'm going to follow this guy around Disneyland for 2 hours, it's like, I only want to learn about the new Incredicoaster.
Yeah.
So you get an audience just from that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the thing that you and I learned at VidCon is that 10 videos are way more valuable than one long video.
Yeah. 100%.
But I was just curious, there's the way that it plays out for your channel and builds numbers, but that's not always the way that the guy at home wants to consume the content.
Yeah. It depends on what the content is. With something like a vlog, if I saw the person wearing the same shirt in 3 different vlogs and I'm like, whoa, weird, you broke this up, you shot this in weird. No, that doesn't work for me. I don't think.
All right. As we say goodbye to the audience, what should people go watch on your recommendation?
Go watch this video that we just filmed in 360, and please make GIFs of Wally or GIFs of Wally. And
memes.
all the different things that he's done throughout the podcast, because he's a freaking wild animal. But no, in all reality, go watch Shane Dawson's 5-part series on Jeffree Star. then go watch a couple Jeffree Star videos and let me know what you think.
I skipped around. I didn't watch the video where they do like the makeover part.
Okay.
It's not really for me.
It's funny.
You know, though, like I was watching it. I'm like, this is maybe not for me. And I started to feel bad. I'm like, but also if I like football, but if football content gets too jockey, then it's not for me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I was like trying to figure out, like, I don't really want to watch two guys do a makeover.
Yeah.
But the documentary part of it, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. For me, I would say it's a hard recommendation, but Felix's channel.
Okay.
I don't like the gaming. The meme reviews can be whatever because sometimes you don't get the memes or it's a lot of like inside dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
But when something big happens in YouTube, go watch Felix break down the Logan Casey interview or the FouseyTube meltdown. I think Felix's breakdown on things is really, really smart. He is the number one YouTuber with 65 million subscribers. And his production quality is pretty low. It's pretty budget. Like, he doesn't take it all too serious, but yet he has the experience to really pontificate and speak from. So when something big happens, I really enjoy when Felix does a breakdown video.
Good to know.
Carl?
Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for putting me into this world of this mess.
You're welcome, and I'm sorry at the same time.
I'm glad at least I know why you got me into this world.
Why?
Because you want to have one bud to talk about it with.
Yeah, Mike will not. He does not even go there.
Beth talks to me like I'm dumb. And like, I'm serious. She's like, I can't believe that this is my husband is like laying in bed at 2:00, taking a break, watching some woman who's a guy put on makeup.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not proud either. But I swore I'll oath the team too.
The best part is when the four of us are together too, is like we can both pair off. Yeah, they start talking about food, we start talking about YouTube, and we're all just one happy family. It's amazing.
I see though why you drugged me into this, because part of watching it is enjoying it with somebody else.
Yeah. Dude, I need more friends, first of all, but second of all, it's nice to have someone to riff on with, because what are we watching for?
Exactly. It's a sport.
It really is.
All right, everybody, if you made it this far, God bless you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always tried to take the podcast and show things I'm interested in, because I realize what matters to you probably matters to somebody else. Experiment around, watch a little bit of this content, and I would urge you, think of how you tell your own story, because the industry is going to explode. And I swear to God, if you can catch a small sliver, shrapnel, you may not get rich, but you can make a nice secondary income to what you're already doing and capturing by holding up the camera. Good day, good design.
Good day, good design.
We did it, Carl.
We did it.